hard to believe that we are at this point,
I know.
but we are done with Daniel Craig Bond era.
I was thinking about that last night. Yeah, it's been pretty weird. I don't know. It was just strange to have it be so. I don't know, just have it over with. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Especially because like we were saying, the difference between the movies has been pretty long in between.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Some of them more than others.
Well, all of them were kind of. I mean, sort of close because I think Casino and Quantum were only like 3 years, and then I think Skyfall was like 4 years, and then Spectre was like 3 years, and it would have only have been, I think, less than 5 years or pretty much close to 5 years. But then the pandemic happened, and now it's like 7 years after the last movie.
Yeah. When was No Time to Die scheduled for 2020?
Yeah, I almost want to say it originally was going to come out like in March or April of 2020.
Right at the
And
beginning.
then they were like, "Oh, well, we're going to push it to some other time." And then it got put, and then they pushed it again.
Yeah. Yeah, because it came out in 2021,
Right.
kind of towards the end too.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember. I'm trying to look it up here. I can't remember what the initial. They write it all on like what the initial.
Yeah, that's like the one thing I'm really bad at looking up like that kind of detail. I know they started filming in like 16.
Yeah, it was. It was originally scheduled for release in November 2019, but was
Oh,
postponed to February 2020 and then April 2020. Uh, because I guess people left it for whatever reason,
huh.
like left the project, and then they started to do. They were getting ready to do their publicity tour for April, but then everything got canceled because of the pandemic.
Crazy.
And then they were going to postpone it until November of 2020, and then that didn't happen. So then they went like another year out, basically. Oh no, it was delayed. That's right. It was delayed until April 2021, and then they delayed it again. It's been like,
Wow.
because I honestly think the movie has been, I mean, generally ready to be released for like 2 years,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy because I don't know. A lot of movies got delayed, but that's long. That's really long. Most of the movies are only delayed like a year to like 10
Yeah.
months.
Black Widow was probably the second longest. That was like a year and a half to almost 2 years.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out
Right after Endgame, almost.
Yeah. Yeah. I think November of 2019 or something like that. I honestly don't remember. It was 2020. I just don't remember.
When did that? It finally came out in like 2021.
Yeah, it came out of summer of last year,
Yeah.
but only on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It was the only uh Marvel movie not released in theaters
Right.
because everything else got a theatrical run.
Yeah. So they ended up putting No Time to Die in theaters first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't remember it being in theaters.
I think they did like a London premiere or something. I think they did something. I don't think it reached like international. It may not even have played really. They were getting ready to do it, but I think everything shut them down.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's good. That's a pretty big box office for.
Oh yeah. Yeah, especially with like, what takes place in the movie, like. But it also makes sense because in the movie it says 5 years later, and Spectre was 2015. So it's like, yeah, they knew 2020 was supposed to be when this movie was essentially. But yeah,
Huh. That's interesting.
Still worked out good. I mean, everything, didn't feel.
Yeah. No, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I wrote down. I wrote out a synopsis here. I'm just going to read through it quick. So from this point on, it'll be full spoilers.
Okay. Yeah. Sunglasses off. Spoilers out.
Spoiler time. All right. So it opens in Matra. And that's the one thing I found by going through the synopsis is they actually tell you where the locations are.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the movie, but in the in this.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. That was a weird decision.
Yeah.
When every other Daniel Craig movie had said, "Here you are. This is where you are." And then,
yeah, it was a lot of spaces too. It was like, oh, that was Jamaica. Oh, that was Cuba. Oh, okay. I didn't know. No idea.
Didn't matter.
Unknown location. Yeah. Okay, so Spectre ambushes Bond at the tomb of Vesper Lynd. Bond believes that Madeline betrayed him and forces her to leave on a train to end their relationship. 5 years later, an MI6 scientist, Valdo Abrachev, I think he's Russian, he's kidnapped by Spectre. Valdo developed the Hercules program with M's approval, which I didn't know that in the beginning that he was an MI6, like he worked for MI6.
Which guy? The Russian guy?
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's kind of
because I think it was Heracles. I don't know. Is it Heracles? Hercules?
Yeah, Heracles, not Hercules.
Well, Heracles. It's the same guy. It's just a different way of saying it. But was it even Hercules or Heracles?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it was a Greek figure name. I can't remember
right.
What it was, but yeah.
Yeah. So MI6 basically developed Heracles to like target specific bad guys, essentially.
Yeah, because M knew about it, so that would make sense. It was an MI6 project. Yeah, that makes sense.
And it was a hidden secret project. But that Valdo guy, he was working for Safan the whole time.
Yeah.
So so he developed Heracles with M's approval. It's a nanobot technology bioweapon coded for individual DNA. Bond is retired in Jamaica. And then he's contacted by Felix, CIA guy, and Logan Ash, his partner. They want him to help them find Valdo. And then we meet 007 Naomi.
Okay.
She basically shows up to tell Bond like to stay away from everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay, so then Bond goes to Cuba and he meets Paula Mo, that CIA agent. She's like,
oh yes.
She's like Cuban. She works for like a ranch.
I remember.
Yeah. So they infiltrate a Spectre meeting to take Valdo. Blofield's using a bionic eye to view the meeting. He tries to use Heracles to kill James, but since Valdo programmed it to kill all the Spectre agents die. Because that was on Safin's order. So Bond brings Valdo to Felix and Logan. Turns out Logan works for Safin. Felix gets shot and killed on that ship. So then Safin meets Madeline to get her to infect and kill Blofield.
Mm-hmm.
She's been his psychiatrist the whole time while he's been in prison.
Yep.
So her and Bond meet up in that interrogation, and he touches Madeline and gets infected from the
perfume or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Blofield tells him that he set up Vesper's tomb to make him not trust Madeline. So basically, like, Blofield's doing the same thing he's been doing. Like the whole
it's ruining Bond's life. Yeah.
So that makes Bond mad. Bond chokes him, which infects him with the nanobots, killing him.
Yep.
So then Bond tracks down Madeline to her childhood cabin, and that's where he finds out that she has a 5-year-old daughter. but she tells him like 5 times it's not his, even though it
Yeah.
completely matches up. Okay, so then Madeline tells Bond that her dad, Mr. White, killed Stefan's family on Blofield's order. So Stefan avenged his family by killing Spectre and Blofield. Meanwhile, Stefan and Logan are in pursuit of Bond to find Madeline. And 007 Naomi is in pursuit of Logan. So they're all together and they're all headed towards Bond and Madeline. Madeline gets kidnapped, Madeline and her daughter, and Bond kills Logan Ash. So then Q, Bond, and Naomi infiltrate Stefan's base on the island that's been converted to the nanobot factory, where, you know, Valdo works and he's mass producing Heracles, basically to murder everybody on the planet. Bond and Stefan have a meetup where he reveals that that's his daughter, Bond's daughter. Okay, so then Madeline escapes that room where she doesn't drink that tea. And then Stefan releases her daughter just into the base, just to be like on her own. So then they all meet up. Naomi takes Madeline and her daughter away to safety off the island. Bond stays on the island to open the island's blast-resistant silo doors, and they call in a missile strike to the island to destroy the factory. So as Bond is leaving the island, the silo doors shut above him. He goes back to open them again and gets ambushed by Stefan and shot. They fight each other, and Stefan infects Bond with the Heracles dose that he made to kill Madeline with her hair. So Bond kills Stefan, and he opens the silo again, and he calls Madeline on the radio to tell her he isn't going to make it off the island, and chooses not to try because he knows he can never be around them again, because like Q told him, there's no cure for the nanobots. Even though I think if anybody could figure out, it would be Q how to get rid of it.
I don't know why he couldn't like go into a magnet thing, but whatever.
Whatever. So basically Madeline confirms that that's Bond's daughter. And the missiles blow up the island and Bond.
They certainly do.
And then there's that post-credit scene where the MI6 guys are all making a toast to Bond.
They make a toast, and then she's driving on the road with the girl.
Let me tell you about your father, Bond. James Bond.
I think, unless I missed it, I think the only thing you didn't mention was we open on the scene that Madeline talked about in the sub inspector. She talks about it. We open up on that scene.
I did leave that out. I left out the very beginning. I don't know why. It shows Madeline as a kid. Stefan comes in to like kills her mother, looking for her dad.
Looking for Mr. White, right?
And he wears that mask the only time in the whole movie.
It was a weird. It was fine. Like watching the scene, it was fine. I was like, okay, they're just showing you what she briefly talked about, but then it honestly really didn't like need to be seen at all.
No, not really.
Other than like the impact of like Stefan showing her the broken doll mask to her so that she put 2 and 2 together that like, oh, this is the same person. It was like, okay. It wasn't like, well, because he saved her from the ice, she'll of course will do this thing for him because he saved her life. It was just more like, hey, it's me from your past again. So I'm scary. Like, okay, like I don't know. It was weird. It really didn't.
She knew he was alive the whole time. Like, why wouldn't she?
I don't know. I didn't get it. I didn't understand. I thought it was going to play such a bigger part because the whole time they were, even you as the audience, you think, well, maybe she is working for Blofeld. Or whatever, Blofeld, whatever. And so it keeps going forward. And then you're like, oh, well, clearly Safin is like taking out all these Spectre people. So it's like, oh, she's working for him because
Yeah. Why
he
wouldn't she?
raised her, like he
Right.
rescued her from the ice. So they're like, there's connection there. It's like, no,
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 no, he's just been missing the whole time.
yeah, uh, yeah. I don't know. It
And
was weird. I didn't enjoy. I
he
didn't enjoy like why they made that so specific.
he's not a terrible villain, but I do feel like he's just kind of shoehorned in at the end.
Yeah, he
Like
definitely was
he was
not
against
as
the
a.
law the whole time, you know.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't. For what happens, I mean, to have Bond get blown up, he definitely wasn't. He kind of falls like in the Mr. Green category for
Yeah,
me. Like he's fine. I don't like dislike him, but he's not like this really captivating villain that we've had in the other movies.
right. And it almost makes you mad that like he's the one that ends to demise, right? Because
I know.
like if Bond and Blofeld died like together like, in the end,
Oh, sure.
you know,
Yeah.
that's like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
It's all right. I didn't I don't really understand his character like shift. Like I get him wanting to get revenge on Blofeld and take out all of Spectre for killing his
Yeah.
mom. That makes sense. But then for him to go 180 to let's use these nanobots to destroy the planet. Why?
Yeah.
Just to make him a bad like a big bad guy? Like what's his
Yeah, I guess to make it more, I don't know. Maybe the only thing I could think of is maybe he knew that in order, he's trying to, his little speech to Bond is like, "Hey, we're just trying to get rid of the same people, right? I'm more like, I'm better at it. Essentially, I'm more swifter at getting rid of bad people." Which it's like, okay, he is. I mean, he killed Spectre in like 20
yeah,
minutes, so it's
right.
like, okay, sure. But at the same time, it's like he's in control of who everyone, he's the one who says, well, these people don't deserve to live. And it's like, that's a little much. So it's like, I kind of get it. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. They really didn't flesh him out. And they tried to act like they did flesh him out. Like, oh, it's this
It's
guy from the
just
beginning of the movie. You're like, what's that mean?
it's a story plot, right? Because
Mhm.
it doesn't make sense what he's doing at the end, but but why it does make sense is because that is like the one thing that Bond would like sacrifice himself for.
That's true.
Is because that's such a dangerous technology that could destroy the
Yeah.
entire planet that he would make sure that the blast doors are open. Like that.
Yeah, I mean they make several references to these nanobots can like literally deal like wipe out races. So it's
Yeah,
like they could, doesn't have to just be like, oh well, this like city or this like, oh, everyone of this race could,
yeah,
who has this like gene marker would die. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So in that way, it makes sense that like that's kind of Bond making sure that doesn't happen. But to get to that point, it doesn't really feel earned. Like the villain isn't like he doesn't
No.
have a clear thing behind what he's doing and why he's doing
Yeah,
it.
it's true. Yeah.
He
It's true.
already
I
got
never
what he
thought,
wanted.
I didn't think about that. It's true because when you look at all the other guys, they all had like, you understood their motive.
Yeah.
And
What
his
Craig
whole motivation was his parents were killed by by Spectre
yeah,
via Mr. White, and it's like he already kind of dealt with that,
yeah,
and he got back at Spectre. So it's like,
yeah. Yeah, but to
yeah,
set up that whole facility, it's something that he's been like setting up and planning forever. Like, you know,
yeah,
oh yeah, okay, I took out Blowfield Inspector, but he's still growing all his poison.
yeah, yeah. Also, too, you brought out like last night when we were watching it. You're like, this guy's really into like Japanese stuff and like
Yeah,
Asian culture, and it's like, but why? We have like no ref point of reference. Like,
no idea,
why is that significant?
no idea, because he's like, I think he's Russian in the movie.
Yeah, I really have no
I
idea.
think he's
Yeah.
a Russian. Um, yeah, and the only like Japanese thing that comes into play is that they're saying that that island that his base is on, it's in like water that
Oh, it
Japan,
was contested. Yeah, yeah.
Japan and Russia are like don't have ownership of it.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
I don't really get his character. He's a good bad
I
guy.
don't either.
I don't get his whole character, which to me is not a good villain. Right?
Yeah, and it was kind of rough too because he wasn't. I don't know. He just like wasn't. I don't want to say scary. He just like wasn't intense as a lot of the other guys.
No.
Because like that scene what we talked about in Skyfall,
Yeah.
where Silva's walking down the thing and he's talking about the rat and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like nothing really happens in that scene. It's not really like special, but like the way he carries himself, how he talks,
Yeah.
his
It's
mannerisms.
menacing, right?
He's menacing. Yeah, exactly. He's a really good Bond villain. And then this guy, I don't know. It was weird, but
Yeah, I don't love him as a villain. Like he does a good job playing the villain.
yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like his acting. I think it was just
No.
how he was
No, it was
written.
just his motivation. I didn't,
Yeah, it was
a
bizarre.
good villain makes you feel like, well, he's kind of right,
True.
But where he was going was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't get that. I don't get the
Yeah.
But what I also too is like him and his men are like leaving the island.
Mhm.
And then it was like, oh, just kidding. I'm still here, and I shut the doors.
Oh yeah.
Like, why are they still? Anyway, I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that's why people. That's why when we said earlier, like maybe that's why people left the project. Just like they didn't have a clear ending for it, and Daniel Craig didn't want to come back and do more and all this stuff,
right.
and so they were trying to like I don't know, just write it out
Yeah,
differently or something. I really have no idea. It also felt like introducing. What did you say her name was? Naomi.
Naomi. Yeah,
Naomi. So it's like you introduce her and you're like, oh, okay, and it's like interesting and surprising that they're calling her 007. And as far as I know, it's like the first time I've ever done such a thing.
yeah,
It's like not only is it a black person, but it's a woman. And it was just like, oh wow. And then
yeah. They didn't do anything with it.
it didn't do anything with it. It was just like, okay, she's just another person he's working with.
Yeah, and then she
And the
like
thing that was
she
good.
relinquishes the numbers at the end of the movie anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing that was a little more disheartening for me, I'm sure probably for you too, was at the very, very end of the movie, after the credits, it says James Bond will return.
Yeah,
And it's like, normally you would just be like, yeah, of course. Oh, there's another Batman. Great. It's just like,
yeah,
of course, James Bond will return. But the thing that was disheartening about it was his name is James Bond. He's not, it's not like the other movies where it's his code name.
In fact, they've done 3 movies establishing the fact that that's his name, that's his birthright.
His birth name, right? So to say that, it just tells me that they're just rebooting this.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I think we talked about it in probably Skyfall, maybe Spectre. We talked about like perhaps the person will be called James Bond, and now they have the code name James Bond
Is like an homage.
as an homage, right?
Yeah.
But it's unlikely.
Yeah, I don't know. I want it to be set in the same universe, honestly.
I mean, in
No.
the type of media we consume these days, like it would make the most sense to
Yeah.
just continue with it. You already have pre-established people.
But I also feel like they already have this track record of every 6 movies they just reboot it anyway. I
That's
know
true.
that I know like Sean Connery and they're supposed to be the same, but I don't feel like it really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff like I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about it where they're like, here's proof that's the same thing, and they refer to things like in a Roger Moore movie, they'll refer to Sean Connery, stuff that happened to Sean Connery, and the guy who's playing Blofeld in the movie is like, even though he dies in this movie, it's like it's still him, and he just has like um, plastic surgery or like a mask on, and they do like
Yeah.
flesh that out. They do try to let you know, and then I want to say in even Pierce Bronson or one of the Timothy Dalton movies, like he goes to his wife's grave that was in like a Sean Connery or Roger Moore movie. Like a different actor goes to the grave. So it's one of those things that if you weren't sat there and watching all 20 something
Right.
movies,
Yeah, it's
they're
fine.
just movies. They're just movies. They're just
Well,
James
'cause
Bond movies.
like you pointed out in the MI6 office, there's the picture of all the M's,
Oh yeah.
and it was like Pierce Brosnan M, and then
Yeah.
yeah, the other one there.
Yeah, but it's still M, but it's just I don't know the actor's name, but yeah, and I was like, that's cool, but
Mhm.
it's not like it's just his name or I don't know, some sort of homage. It's like this is a painted picture of this person in the on the wall. So it's like you're insinuating that this gentleman was an M clearly earlier because of his like attire.
Mhm.
So it's like, are you saying that this other Bond was? It's like,
Well,
what?
like you were showing me the female M that starts off
Hmm,
this series. She
yeah,
gets brought in the last, in the Pierce Brosnan ones.
yeah. I forget. She's in Die Another Day, the one that we always joke about. She's in that one, but
The tunnel one.
I don't know how many more she's in. I should look it up. I didn't think about it, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, maybe she is in a lot of the other Bond movies.
Yeah, I don't. I know she's been in previous ones. Like I remember her in Pierce Brosnan movies.
Yeah,
But yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Watching the Daniel Craig ones.
no, yeah, I had totally when we watched Casino Royale and I saw her again, I totally blanked on like,
Judy Dench,
yeah.
right?
So what the heck? She's in Goldeneye. She's M in Goldeneye.
Perfect.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah.
The World Is Not Enough.
So she was in the
Die
majority.
Another Day. She's Pierce Bronson's M. So it's like cool. So they just do what they want. I didn't know that. I totally
Yeah.
blanked on that. So they just do what they want.
So that's why them saying Bond will return is just like, yeah, it's gonna be a
Yeah, exactly,
new Bond. Like,
exactly.
who cares, right? Because
Like it
they've been
doesn't
doing
matter.
that every single time. It's always been. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what they've been trying to do with the Daniel Craig ones is to try to try to show that like he's a real person. He's not a code name.
Hmm.
But now it doesn't matter because moving forward, it's not going to be just
Well, I'm sure the writers wanted to make him a little more human than just this like suave, no name guy. Essentially, I mean, you know what I mean.
yeah,
He has a name, but it's like you can't relate to him. You don't know that he's an orphan. You don't know that this is like his heights, like his home cottage, and
right.
Blofeld is like his adopted
Stepbrother, yeah,
half
yeah,
brother, whatever,
because
stepbrother.
even in the other ones, it's they always go by James Bond, but like you said, it's always been like a code name. It's not
Right.
it's not been his real name. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
We've been pitching Idris Elba since Casino Royale, but
I know. I know.
I mean, you talk about a suave British black man
I know.
in the role. I mean,
That'd be great.
it's like,
Be really, really good. Have you ever seen Luther? It's like a
yeah,
BBC detective show.
yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, not that Bond and him are like similar, but obviously he has like I don't know, he just has like that kind of spy, like you said, suave. He's just
yeah.
very he can be elegant and tough and mean and funny all at the same time. So
Mhm.
it's good.
Yeah, and he's built too. I mean, he'd be a good
Sure.
hand-to-hand guy, which would be sweet.
I just worry. I mean, he looks great. Nothing against the guy, but he's got a little gray in his goatee and his
Yeah,
hair now, so it's like I'd love to see that. I'd love to see a kind of older Bond. Like not like how Daniel Craig was at the end of this movie, and it was kind of like, well, maybe it's a little too much for him. He's getting up there. It would be kind of great to have another 5, 6
yeah,
movies with him, with
yeah. But
Idris as he is.
like we were saying the other night too, they've been talking that Daniel Craig is too old
Yeah,
since the second movie he's been in four more after
I
that.
know, I know. So funny. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know why people would be so against it. It's not like he looks decrepit or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
he's more in shape than anybody else I know that age.
I know that's true.
I wouldn't mess with him. You kidding me?
He probably super. I've seen some interviews with him. He seems super nice, so
No,
he
yeah,
probably wouldn't hurt you too much.
no. I still wouldn't mess with him. Though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Oh, that was the thing I was gonna say last night because I kept saying, "Oh, this thing," and I go, "No."
Yeah.
So I'm
See
sure
it.
you'll be able to pull it up. Not to give you like a chore, but the basically like the Blu-ray art, the like Blu-ray background, and I think even like the main poster for it is kind of bland. It's just like I mean it's cool, but Bond's on there, he's got his gun, and it's like neat. But when you put them like next to all the other ones,
Yeah, it's very simple.
like oh, and then you think, well, maybe they're trying to just kind of do something simple and very like
Mhm.
what do you call it? Like not professional. It's not the word I want to say, but you know what I mean? Just very like
Yeah,
artistic and
minimalistic. Yeah,
minimalist. Yes, thank you.
yeah.
And so we were watching the movie and the Billie Eilish music video comes on, which was oh, I like the song, but the music video wasn't really captivating. It wasn't really as good as the other ones.
I didn't like the intro. I didn't like the intro.
Yeah, I didn't care for it as much. It wasn't terrible. I just yeah, it didn't hit me. But the music is good. I like her singing it, and that was
Yeah.
fine.
No, I
But
really
the thing
like
I thought was so weird was they show I have no idea what it is. I think it's some sort of like I think it's like the American, like the British version of the lady with the blindfold that holds the
no
scales.
the justice system. Yeah,
Yeah, the justice system. They had that statue of the I think the Greek character that the stuff is named after. It could be Heracles or her mop, whatever the name is. And they're like holding the shield and like this I think it was a scepter or it was a trident, and it's
oh
like
yeah,
collapsing and stuff,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And the thing, and then so you had, I'm almost positive the statue was carrying a trident, and then at the end of the movie, if I'm wrong, I could be wrong. Q uses Greek symbols to show where Bond and Naomi are,
Yeah,
and I want to say Bond is
tried it.
the trident looking Greek
Yeah,
symbol. And I was just thinking, why is this not like the type like why isn't it him No Time to Die with
yeah.
like the trident symbol behind him? Like and I get maybe somebody would be like, well, what does psi or phi have to do with this? Like I get it. Like
Well,
no if somebody understood Greek, I
the
get
other
it.
thing too about the intro, right, is because every intro that we've seen so far has had like major set pieces and major stuff in the movie.
Yeah,
And this was
yeah,
all about like underwater and diving and scuba diving, and it had not
yeah.
one scene in it was anybody underwater, scuba diving, swimming. There was no
No.
water. There was no water in it at all.
And it was like it was the stone stuff. It was really into like the stone, right? Because
Marble,
every time
yeah,
he'd shoot, his hand would turn to stone or whatever. And the other big thing was the which I get. We get the it was the hourglass with the
yeah,
with time.
yeah.
That I understand, but
Okay.
yeah, it was weird.
Got it.
It was like
Yeah.
there was not. Well, you know what? There were a little bit of plants. Remember, because they had like the rosy
Oh,
vine stuff
the
growing. A
thorns.
little bit.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. It was.
yeah, and
It
then
didn't
it
have
and
like ice like in the beginning of the movie, right? I don't
no,
know. The stuff you would think that they would have done. I
yeah,
don't
it's
know.
weird. It's weird. It's weird. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with the other ones.
It really doesn't.
I do love the song. I do love Billie Eilish's song.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's really
I
good. I like.
I would put I would put like Adele's Skyfall at
Yeah.
the top. I would put Billie Eilish second,
Mhm.
and then probably Casino Royale.
Yeah. Know My Name, I think is what it's called, or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, and then I don't know, probably Spectre last. No,
Oh, Writing on the
no,
Wall.
no, I like that one too.
No, I know it's tough.
That's probably third or fourth, honestly, for me.
Yeah, I think for me, I think it's the Casino Royale theme, then Skyfall theme, then Billie Eilish,
Mm.
then Writing on the Wall, and then Quantum of Solace.
Which,
So
which one is Quantum? I can't remember.
Quantum is like is Jack White and Alicia
Oh,
Keys.
that's right. Yeah, that's
It's Another Way to Die, something like
bottom
that.
bottom of the barrel. Oh,
Bottom.
it's a good song, but it's not my
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah, it's not bad, but yeah,
It's no Tina Turner, that's for sure.
I love that.
It is a good one.
Actually, I think out of well, no, but were we? You were texting me once. I was at work, and it was the
Yeah.
Madonna one, right?
Oh God, I forgot that she.
Die
Yeah.
Another Day or whatever.
I guess I'll die another day. Yeah, I hate it. I just don't like her, so I don't.
Wow.
She's whatever.
Yeah.
And Tina
I'm trying to
Turner.
remember what were some other like cool things that we did like about it.
I really do like the fact that they had the Stones to just. That's it.
Hmm,
I respect any movie that's just like okay, that's
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. There's been a handful of movies where I don't want to say our childhood because I would say it's like our
Yeah.
adolescence years, right?
Yeah.
Because you think about it, it's like we lost Wolverine,
Mm,
we've lost Iron Man, we've lost James Bond.
those hit deep. Those hit me deep.
Yeah, and it's just like it's kind of crazy because it's like normally you're just like, yeah, whatever, it's a movie. This guy gets killed, like Han Solo. Right? It's
Right.
not like it's not
Yeah.
great, but at the same time, it's like, but they made so many movies with these characters. Harrison Ford only was in like basically like three and a half movies.
I love Han Solo. Like I love Han Solo, and I don't care that he died in the new movie. Like it didn't do anything for me. One way or the other.
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
It improves Kylo Ren's
exactly.
character. Like it moves his character forward, and I like that about his.
Yeah,
But it doesn't affect me that like Han Solo.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
already
No.
old. You don't know what he's been doing.
Yeah, there's not that many movies. But like with Hugh Jackman playing him, there was like 8 movies that he was in, and
Yeah.
the same with Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. playing like and again like 10 movies.
Robert Downey hit hard. That's a pretty hard scene at the end there.
I mean, all of them really. I mean, even though like Black Widow isn't like the most like interesting Avenger, but they have like all like Captain America, Black Widow, and Iron Man. Like that's it. They're gone. In a non multiverse sense, they're gone. It's like it's kind of crazy for them to pull a trigger on like 3 of their main
No.
cast.
Yeah, the originals. Yeah, I know, tough. But yeah, no, I give credit to anybody that would just kill your main character. Like it's just if the time is there, just do it. I mean,
The other thing is too, I think to go along with what you're saying. I think the other thing that was nice about it was, I don't know, it wasn't too sappy, which I liked because he's not really sappy.
No.
He has his moments. But the other thing was too is it was just kind of like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We're not going to drag this out. We're not going to like make this like a 4 or 5 minute scene where it's like he talks and then slow sappy music plays and then he's sitting, he watches and he thinks about everything. You can see flashbacks of his childhood. Like no, none of that. They just are like he has his little conversation and that's it.
Yeah, and it fits his character very well.
Yeah. I appreciated that. Yeah, it was nice.
No, I do.
Hard to see him go. I mean, wasn't like, yeah. But,
no, I know. I love Daniel Craig in the role, but if you're gonna do it, do it. Don't
just do it, right?
beat around the bush. Don't like I was telling you last night. I was like, oh well, don't worry. M will be out in Paris and sitting at a coffee shop and see him across from him reading a newspaper. So.
Yeah.
Oh, turns out he fixed the silo and
turns out he rode one of the rockets.
He surfboard off the side of the mountain.
Little did they know the nanobots they put in his body they just reassembled him and Safin's body, and now he's Safin Bond. It's an anime.
Little did they know he's now Sandman.
Sandman. James Bond will return. Yeah. No, that's true. I totally agree with you. I'm glad that they just did it.
Yeah.
And I wonder too, I didn't look into it. I wonder if like that was just like a writer's thing or like a Daniel Craig thing.
I think he was
I,
ready.
oh, sure. I'm sure he wasn't like against the idea completely, but you don't know going into things like if the actor is the one kind of pushing for it.
Yeah, right. Well, what's funny too is that like in every movie you see him try to get out of being a double O. Like every movie is just him.
For every movie.
He just wants to be on a beach and just be drunk and not do anything
Yeah.
every single time. That's like his default, and they keep pulling me back in.
Exactly. Exactly.
Poor guy. So now he's finally done. Finally doesn't have to worry about anything. You know
I
what though?
know.
It was sad seeing Felix go.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't care for that too
Yeah,
much. That was rough.
I do like Felix.
Me too.
He's only been in this is his third one, but
Yeah. No, that was rough. That was way too rough. Not in the sense of like how he went. It was just like, man, this character's like fun and he's interesting and
yeah,
I don't know. Jeffrey Wright is a great actor, and then it was like, oh nope, he's gonna go, and it's gonna be kind of like Vesper, and it was like, oh,
yeah,
nasty.
yeah.
It was just
No,
nasty.
I know.
Rough way to go for the character.
Yeah, it's a
I mean,
tough.
but honestly, now that I think about it, like other than Madeline and now his daughter, all of his friends get like
Yep.
really, really well. M doesn't die very like horribly tragically, but like Vesper and the other guy there,
Yeah.
Renee, is that what his name was?
Oh yeah.
Right? He pulls him out of the trunk and he's like, oh, and he
Oh,
puts him in the dumpster. He puts him
Matt.
like
Yeah,
Mathis. That's what it
Mathis.
was.
Yeah,
Mathis. Yeah, yeah. Renee Mathis. Yeah, that's right.
Mathis.
Oh, it's awful, awful stuff.
It's like everybody around him, it just crumbles. You know.
I know. Even Blofeld didn't really get a. It didn't do too well. That
No.
was surprising. I thought they were going to drag that out a little bit longer and just cut back, and he was just like slumped over with like
Yeah.
bubbling things.
I like how they
Whatever.
still gave him his long dramatic entrance though. Even
Oh,
being incarcerated, he still had his long. Yeah.
gotta pay that. That's a 16-hour. He was in the makeup chair for 6 hours to get that thing over his eye. Yeah, honestly, probably was just like a taped piece of green screen, and then they went knowing that day and age.
Right. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, because they already got a green screen in his eye and everything. So
Right.
why wouldn't you just do it all?
Yeah.
It's funny to me that like Blofeld is very smart. He's been in control of like everything from the beginning, and he's got all that technology. And M's like, there's no way he could be doing anything from prison. It's like, what? It was interesting to see M be a completely different character in the beginning of the movie too.
Yeah, I
It was
know.
like,
So
oh, man.
bizarre. So bizarre.
It was almost
They
like
didn't even like slightly indicate Inspector that like perhaps he was like, well, maybe we should go and do something else, like keep something on the back burner in case the double O program like doesn't work out.
yeah.
Also, he just comes in and he's just a complete dog bag of food, of poop. Like it was just like, what
Well,
the heck,
no,
dude?
because Spectre literally ends with him being all like pro Bond, and he's like being
Yeah, yeah,
he outsmarts like C, you know,
yeah,
like, oh yeah, this is why we'll always be agents because we're smarter than this. And then it opens up with him being like, I don't care about anything you have to say. I don't like, I did this and I did that. Yeah. Yeah, he was a jerk in the beginning. It was almost like they're setting him up to be like in cahoots.
sure. I kind of, right? I didn't know where they were going with it. And I don't know. I don't know. Again, is that poor writing, or are they just trying? Are they trying to confuse you? Are they trying to be like, oh, maybe?
It's almost like he was really mad at Bond for just like leaving. Like they expected him to leave, but then he just went like AWOL so deep that they were just like,
Yeah,
well, he's obviously dead. It's almost like he took it personally,
probably.
Maybe he's racist. I don't know. But that's the other thing too is if they're gonna have the Stones to be like, this is Naomi is like she's the new Bond,
Right.
but they like pull it away at the end to be like, no,
Yeah.
no. Like why?
Can't be that. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I don't mad enough. Yeah, it was weird.
She isn't, like I said, she's not. She was fine when she first showed up. I was like, oh, that's really cool. But
Oh yeah, it was
as
really
the movie
interesting.
goes on, and she's not super likable, you know.
No, she's very rigid and she's very I don't know. And it's hard, right? Because I don't know. Maybe it was just hard. Maybe maybe she tried to play like suave, and for a
Yeah,
woman to come across like
yeah,
suave, it came off like sexy, and they were like, we don't really want
yeah,
that. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, honestly, what's the female version of Bond? Is like basically a um, what's the word for it? I can't think of the word for it. But it's not. It's like a Black Widow almost, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
not the character, but like the actual like.
I understand
I
what you
know in
mean.
Fallout that's like a perk.
Yes, I think
Because
it is called like a Black Widow. I
yeah,
think that's
because the perk for a male character to have like more influence on like female characters in the game is it's like ladies man is the perk, and if you play as a woman, the perk is like Black Widow, where you do like more damage towards
yes,
men and you have more
yes,
persuasion towards men.
yes.
Yeah, and there's your Fallout fact.
Ba-bum, ba-bum, bum. Yeah.
I figured it
Yeah, I
was
don't know. I don't know what. I really don't know what they were trying to accomplish with it.
I don't know.
Did you look her up? Because
No,
she, I, when I saw her, I was like, man, she looks a lot like that
she
person, but
she looks familiar.
she probably isn't.
I don't know. The
Honestly, right? I was just say, honestly, the Cuban agent was more
oh
interesting
yeah,
than her.
she was awesome.
She was a
She
little
was awesome.
silly, but whatever.
I love the fact that like Bond really liked her.
Yeah,
Even when he
yeah,
leaves,
she is.
he's like, "You were great."
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah. It was good.
I've
I don't
only
know.
had 3 weeks training. She was
She was
really
really
cool.
funny. She looked really cool too, shooting the like machine gun thing and everything. Yeah,
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
yeah. So I just looked it up, and she's Maria Rambeau. So she's Captain Marvel's friend in the movie,
Hmm.
the other pilot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Her.
what's her name from
Well,
WandaVision's
well,
mom?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Her,
in WandaVision, she's technically dead from cancer.
right, right. Yeah, and she's I forget what superhero she is. Technically, she turns into at least in the comic book anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I think she almost has Captain Marvel's like powers. So
Oh, okay, sure, that makes sense.
I forget her name. It's like
Anyway, you talking about the daughter or the mom?
the daughter,
Oh yeah, Monica. Yes, she's. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Whiplash or White
Yeah, it's something like
Rays
that's like
or
sun something or yeah.
Sun
I know what
V,
you're talking about.
Super Rays. I don't remember her name.
Yeah, blast doors. Yeah,
Blast
whatever.
Phoenix.
Yeah,
Phoenix. Yeah, we need another Phoenix movie.
absolutely.
I do got to watch it again. You said that wasn't bad.
It's I don't know. It wasn't as bad as everybody painted it out to be. At least for me, just because when you watch whatever the other one's called, the X3 movie, I can't think of what the subtitle is called.
Magneto's Rampage.
Yeah, right. It's much more interesting than that movie. Actually makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what the first class movies did anyway, right? It's kind of made
Hmm.
X-Men make sense. It wasn't about Logan trying to be attracted to Rogue the whole time, right?
Well, he liked it. No, I don't know.
Oh, Sabretooth is my brother, turns out, even though in the original movies he looks like a beast man.
I don't talk about it when I re-see him. I don't want to bring it up.
I
It's a
like
bad.
I like Sabretooth in like the other Wolverine movies.
Oh, sure, yeah,
The other one is more comic, correct?
yeah.
and like they're not related. Like I don't like the relation thing at all.
Oh no, no. Him being a dumb doof and like smashing up stuff in the first movie is totally fine. It's
Yeah,
totally
no,
fine.
no,
He
his
needed to
character.
talk a little bit more just because he does in the comics. He's not like a complete mindless dof, but
I don't know. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. So I like both, but because I really like the guy who plays him in the Wolverine.
oh, Lee, like, yeah, yeah,
He's
whatever his
good.
name is,
Yeah, he's
Leave
good.
Stripe, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why make them brothers? I mean, it's just so. And then they did the same
No.
thing with the Optimus Prime and Megatron. Like, oh yeah, he's my brother. Like, of course he's your brother. That makes sense.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh yeah.
remember that.
That was like the 10-year time frame, right? Where everybody were brothers. Brother against brother.
Brother against brother.
Right. We did it during the Civil War, and now we did it in the early 2000s where everybody Megatron and Optimus Prime are brothers. Wolverine and Sabretooth are brothers.
Yeah.
Why does everybody have to be related?
Wasn't wasn't Will Turner from the Pirates and somebody who was related to somebody too? I don't remember.
I'm sure.
Maybe it was just his
Oh,
dad.
his dad was Captain Bootstrap. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then Johnny Depp's dad shows up, and he's a pirate lord. He was the guy from
Was it Keith Richards?
Rolling Stones. Yeah,
I forgot that was even the thing.
he
Yeah,
was.
he goes there, right? It's like Keith Richards and Paul McCartney are like the
Yeah.
pirates in that scene.
I don't.
Okay,
How is Keith Richards still alive?
I have no idea.
He's looked like a walking corpse since I was a kid, and that was 20 years ago.
He probably, honestly, is only like in his 70s, knowing how
Oh,
things are.
he's not even old. Yeah, yeah. That's what booze and cocaine.
Yeah, that's what chain smoking and booze does there.
The life of a rock star. Am I right?
But back on Bond, I was thinking
Yeah, yeah, right. Bond. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
so
Oh,
the thing I
yeah.
was thinking about was what
Oh,
you talked about,
oh yeah.
which was I think it was a one shot, right? We kind of talked about him going up that stairwell
Oh yeah.
for a long time was
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool. It was a cool sequence of him throwing the grenades back and
Oh yeah.
taking on the guys and stuff. It was cool.
Yeah. No, I just like seeing him clear rooms. I'm a
Yeah.
sucker for any movie that's like a tower defense.
Like he's got to get higher and higher. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Bruce Lee,
Yeah, true.
started it, right? Where he's got to fight his way up to the tower.
Yeah.
There was a Japanese movie, I forget the name of it, but that was the same thing. It was the police were going in to raid this like crime den, and it was like the boss was at the top.
Oh.
You have to like fight all the way to the top of this like apartment building.
Oh,
It's super good like kung fu. It was
that's
awesome.
cool.
But I love anything like that. So yeah, that scene where he's fighting his way up the tower.
There's a lot of movies like that. Yeah,
Yeah, there is. I'm pretty sure Bruce Lee kind of started that whole thing.
probably. I mean, he did a lot for getting like movies kind of like more interesting in the sense of like action rather than just like I am punching you.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
And speaking of
Yeah.
Bruce Lee, it was funny last night you said because it was like not even 30 minutes in the movie, and I'm like, Bond has had like 50 drinks so far. And you're like, yeah, drunken master. I was like,
yeah.
yeah.
He gets stronger and stronger.
I love drunken master.
Yeah, I know.
I love kung fu,
And-
old kung fu movies. And Jackie Chan, I do not like Jackie Chan. Come on.
What's the one that it's like a goofy kung fu movie, but it's like really well done. Is the Shaolin Soccer?
Oh,
Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. And it's like they're playing the game and the thing, and he goes like, "Wah!" And he like blocks the ball, and the ball like stops and is like spinning.
Yeah.
And they're all like, and their hair is blowing back and stuff. That's a really good one.
yeah.
It's stupid, like it's silly,
No,
but they do such a good job at it. It's like actually fun to watch.
well, that's why like Kung Fury or Kung Fu Fury. What was the name of the movie?
Oh, Kung Pao, Enter the
Yes.
Fist. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why that's so good because it's like a spoof on all the
Oh,
terrible.
that is That is like a niche movie. I have only met a handful of people that have watched that movie.
And they've been talking about a sequel to that for 40 years.
Oh gosh, absolutely.
Bird deep. It's such a good.
Swing on the chain, swing.
It's
Oh
just
gosh.
it's like Nacho Libre. I could watch it on repeat all.
Yeah, that's true. There's some old, there's just some old movies I used to watch as a kid that like some didn't age well, and I'm like, why did I ever watch this? And some I'm like, this never gets old. This never ever gets old.
Yeah, the dumpster kid with the dumpster patch kids.
Oh,
Yeah,
what the heck are they called? Yeah,
what they're the Cabbage Patch Kid, not
Garbage Pails,
Garbage
right?
Pails. The Garbage Pails movie, like 95 or something. These horrific, giant-headed like
so bad.
monstrosities. Yeah, disgusting. It's so bad. Now I gotta find a disgusting clip to put in here.
Yeah. Brush me. I know it's not the same thing, but that's what it made me think of.
Yeah, pretty good. So that island at the end of the movie
Oh yeah.
Ding Dong's got his base on there. What the other thing that feels like a change in like writing and direction is that in the very beginning of the movie when he saves Madeline,
Okay.
she shoots him and he's got the mask that's broke. He is like all veined up.
He is all vain.
And like because we were joking that the nanobots when they first showed it in the tube, I was like, well, that's the T virus. That's clearly the T virus from Resident Evil.
Right.
And he was like all veiny in the beginning.
Yeah, it was weird.
What happened? That's another thing about like his backstory. They must have had more story explaining his backstory.
They had to have. Well, that's the thing. I almost get the feeling that like because his face is kind of scarred a little bit. You could tell it's like not. So it's like, oh, it must have been some sort of fire, but I don't remember them ever divulging that, like explaining what exactly happened to him.
Mr. White must have like burnt his family's home down or something, and he like survived.
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me is that it's like, oh, your dad killed my family when I was a kid, and now he's like he was in his 20s or 30s when he goes and finally finds where Mr. White lives.
Yeah, that's true.
Why did it take him so long to figure that out? I don't know.
Maybe just resources. I really have no idea.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so anyway, that island there.
Yeah.
It's called Soy Island.
Okay.
It's in the northern part of the Foro Islands, which is it's off of Denmark.
Denmark, really?
Yeah, between Esterio and Kunoi. So it's not where they portray it to be in the movie, like at all.
Sure.
Yeah, it's off the Kingdom of Denmark. Like it's a part of that district.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really cool. So it's obviously like that base, because I was trying to figure out if they had like a World War II base there that they used. But there's not. There's no base there. The only thing I could find out is that in World War II, the British did use that island as a choke point.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Stop Germany, because it's on the border of all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So the British soldiers were using it as like a base to push back Germany. But so the island itself it's 11 miles long, and it's in like a conglomeration of like other islands.
Kind of saw that to a limited degree in a couple shots.
Right. So the orange one is the island, and there's all these islands around it. So in the movie,
Weird.
they're like, oh, it's just this little island in the middle of nowhere, but I mean, it's surrounded by all this stuff,
Tons of yeah.
and there is 80 people that live on the island.
80 people?
Yep, 80 people, and there are 4 villages across the whole island.
Wow.
Yep, and one of them, Pusar, there's 30 people there, so that's like the city. That's like the big city.
Gosh.
Yeah. There's it says there's 12 mountain peaks from south to north. So you have this tiny little island that's 11 miles long and it has 13 mountain peaks because
That
it's
must explain the
it's
population.
all valley. It's all, and they said there's roads and then there's like tunnels that go from village to village. So they like bore through the thing.
Wow. That's pretty cool though.
Yep. So his base, they filmed on location for some of the scenes there, and basically like his base was in the town of Trollins, and there's like a lighthouse there, and that's kind of like where Bond stood at the lighthouse, like when you watch the missiles come in, because
Oh, okay.
because from where the lighthouse is on like the end, you can look down and see the whole island, and they made it look like that's where the silos were coming in.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool. It's just I always like to see like where
Yeah.
they film, where they film.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean that's super interesting because like I totally believed it was somewhere off that way or
Yeah.
some random set.
Yeah, and then so I was trying to figure out where they actually filmed like the submarine like base, like the silo part of his base. And the thing that kept coming up was Pinewood. So I typed in what's his name? Safine?
Yeah.
So I typed in Safan Pinewood, and I found a lot of ways to stain Pinewood. But but no, so Pinewood is like their studio, like their big backlot studio. And yeah, they filmed like almost every James Bond movie has filmed there for like certain scenes.
That's cool.
So that base, the like where the submarines are, they have like a big like filming tank and they fill it with water.
Yeah.
They can put stuff in there. So that's where like it's kind of that's where they come in that little ship. You know, their drone, remember how their drone goes underwater and
Yeah.
yeah. So that's really cool. That's like a huge filming location.
Yeah, I want to say like the early like the 1977 Star Wars is done on Pinewood or
Yeah.
the prequels or something. Something's filmed there.
Something was there. The one thing I did read that was funny was it Doctor, not Doctor Death, the villain that Doctor Evil is based on.
Oh,
It was like the
I think he's based off of Blofeld.
is he?
I think so. I think that's why he has the scar and stuff.
Okay,
I think.
I can't remember which villain it was, but it was like in one of the 70s, the 70 Bond villains. They said at Pinewood they used it for the set of his active volcano. He had his base in an active volcano.
Oh.
And they literally built like the side of the volcano to film it. And they said that
wow.
they had to like take it down because like all the neighborhood was complaining that it was obstructing everything because they had this giant volcano on the roof of it.
Is it it could be like Goldfinger or Goldfinger and stuff. Whatever his name is. I can't remember which movie he's in the volcano, but I know what you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
literally think it's the one that I always quote, the no, Mr. Bond.
Yeah, I think that's Goldfinger.
Okay. It might be his. I just thought that was funny. Yeah, it's super cool. Super cool. I think I was telling you there's been like 2 or 3 like major fires that they've had to like rebuild that sound studio.
I wonder why. It's probably lights. Honestly, it's just probably lights. Those lights get so hot and doing stuff.
I think the casino, a lot of the casino stuff was filmed there for like Casino Royale. Like they set up a lot of poker stuff, you know, like a indoor casino, and filmed in there.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I was just thinking about it when you were saying casino. I was just thinking of Felix and Bond meeting each other, and
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty sad. But like Bond says to Felix in this movie, it's like you have a poor taste for friends.
for friends, yeah.
Everybody that Felix works with the CIA is always a bad guy.
I know.
Yeah, pretty good. But yeah, I mean, anything else from the movie that you really want to?
Trying to think. Okay, so we went through that. We went through his car stuff was cool. Shooting the things out was cool.
Oh yeah,
That was really neat. I liked all that.
yeah. He's driving it around Italy, and I was like,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
long before that gets destroyed? What was the deal with Remember when M? He's like, oh, this is 007. I gotta take this phone call, and he like talks,
Okay.
thinking that it's Naomi, but it's Bond, and he's like in that back room, and they show that like white like car, like he's talking next to this like white car, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
it was really beautiful, like Austin Martin or something.
yeah. They did
That
kind of
was like,
focus on
and that
that.
was
I
like
don't
it,
know.
and then they never touched that again.
Maybe it was another throwback and we didn't pick up on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't because in the last movie he takes 006's car, his Austin Martin. So this was just like in
Yeah.
cues. I don't know.
Oh, I just meant like old Bond stuff.
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
It
maybe.
might have been like Roger Moore or Sean Connery's, like a car from one of the movies.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
It was like a white sports car almost.
Yeah, I do remember now what you're talking about.
Because he even
I
like
can't just
he like turns and looks at it, and then he like turns away. It was really weird.
I feel like with them having the old M on the thing and stuff like that, I feel like it probably was a nod to somebody, probably Sean Connery of all things,
Yeah,
probably. I have no idea.
you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know. Everything was kind of fast paced. It was interesting, and I think the only thing you and I thought was kind of I mean, we've kind of chopped it up to not liking it. We liked it. Don't we liked it, but
yeah,
just it had a lot more flaws in it than the other ones.
yeah.
But the other big piece was he's in the woods, and that was cool. Doing him chasing the guys down in the woods was really neat,
Mm-hmm.
and like it would kind of reminded you of all those movies where like somebody like what's Defiance, where he's like
Yeah. He's like,
hiding and trying
yeah.
to get people. He's a one man team.
I like
But the
anytime
thing
that
that didn't make any sense. Oh God.
I like anytime that somebody's fighting in the woods and it's all foggy and
Yeah, yeah. He the gunshot goes shoots, so Madeline's shooting. He reacts to it. He's not that far away. He just
no.
isn't.
No, because they show him
And
leaving the cabin to begin with, and he shoots like he's like running, and he shoots maybe like
shooting.
six
Yeah.
shots to get them like away, and he stays there.
He runs like 2 minutes away from the thing, if that.
Yeah.
And so he hears the gunshots. He gets back. She's not her and the kid are not there. So then he runs through the woods, and he's like running. And then he gets to like a thing, and then the helicopter is even farther than him, and then it's lifting off and going, and it's like, what? So the only thing I could think of, only thing that could make sense is that like when Safin showed up there and he was like, "Ooh," and he showed up,
Yeah,
that there was a truck behind the thing she was hiding in. They
had to
just
be.
like gunned it.
Yeah, it had to be. Because he was in one.
Right. But yeah, just
But still,
I was
yeah.
like it felt too fast, too furious.
Like you said, it just makes more sense for like a shot like that to have Bond enter the clearing and
Right.
see them being like pushed into the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then get like, a guy to turn and like shoot, and Bond has to go behind a tree or something quick. And he's still too late, which is fine, but just kind of make it seem like Bond was just too late.
It's more realistic than he comes into the meadow and it's like you said, it's way over here and it's like it's like, how did they get
like what happened?
I don't know if you've ever tried to kidnap anybody, but it's a little bit more work than just that.
Yeah, they're not like, all right, well, I guess I'll go with you now.
What are my choices? That's what they always say to me. What are my choices? Jeez. Yeah, especially because like she had like a kid, and they would be like screaming, and they know Bond is right there. There's no way they're not going to go out and fight. Yeah, that stuff is. Yeah, I don't know.
Didn't play out well.
No,
but the Russian guy was funny.
I did like the Russian guy.
He was funny up until the part where he made a racist comment about Naomi. He was funny up until that moment. Then it was like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And that was I think what was intentional was like he was an annoying character that was funny. And then he made like a really bad comment. And it was like, oh, you don't really like this guy anymore. And then she was like, well, now you're going to die. And you're like, yeah, you got to kill him because he's bad. But up until that point, it was like, does he have to die? He's just kind of a.
Yeah, right.
He was like, what's his name? Alan Cummings from GoldenEye. Remember the guy with the pen? He would turn the pen and click it, and then turn the pen, click it.
I want that guy to die the whole movie.
Right. And that's what they were trying to make him like that at the end. Like he was just this really super annoying, evil bad guy. It was like he wasn't really like that through the whole movie.
Yeah.
Right, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, she punches him into the nanobot bat, right?
Yeah.
Which is interesting to me that like those people have to like stand in there and like stir it. They're like, it's like
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Nanobot technology, and they're like constantly stirring.
I don't know what it was. I don't know what the chemical was or what was eating him or like I don't know. Because you would think that those people couldn't stand in that stuff either. So
they have those little rain suits on.
Yeah, they had rain suits, which protect them from
anything. It was super funny when they first go in there and they see it. It's like, I was like, oh, so this is Squid Games now. They're all in the pink, you know. What was the other movie that it felt like for a while too? There was another movie where we said, oh, we kept comparing it to Uncharted, is what it was.
Oh yeah,
because he would do.
There were a couple scenes, honestly, that was very similar to
it. In the very beginning in Italy, there where he like grabs that power line off the bridge and like jumps outside of the bridge. I'm like, that's more Uncharted than the Uncharted movie already. That's something like Daniel Creig would do, is like jump off the side.
And like smash into the wall and be like, oh.
Yeah, because he gets out of there and then he slams in the wall and he falls off. Yeah, I know. There was a few things that were like, that would have been better in the Uncharted movie.
Oh, I would have liked that. Yeah, true. Sadly.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was good. It's not my favorite Bond movie.
No.
It's a good
but it didn't
character.
It didn't like detract from the overall thing. It didn't make him a bad character, which is sometimes hard to do. A lot of movies do that, right? They try to tie the knot, and it's like it's a little too sloppy of a movie.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing they could have done is had him like get out of there and go live like peacefully. And like actually get to retire would have been a good send off too, I guess.
I mean, yeah, that would have been fine too. Everybody would have liked that, but then there's always that chance that, and especially in this day and age, of like, well, maybe one more Daniel Craig movie, or maybe he'll make a cameo in the next thing and pass the torch to so and so. It's like, if he had a hand in making sure that he doesn't come back, then I understand why what happened in the movie happened.
Well, it's also fitting for the character too, because he never gets what he wants, right? It's always
no, he really doesn't.
So that's like you become a spy, at what cost, right?
That's really great, actually, what you said, because it's really true. I didn't think about it until you just said it, that it's really apt to his character that he gets this close to having literally everything he wants, and it's taken from him.
Yep. And it has nothing to do with Blofeld.
Yeah, no.
Because usually it does, and now it's like, not really. Does it have anything to do with him?
No.
Kinda, but not
roundabout.
Yeah. Nope. I know. I don't know. He got to live in Jamaica for 5 years in that beautiful hut where he took showers under the pine trees.
Yeah, right. Now there's no more spoilers. His glasses are back.
Glasses up, spoilers out. Yeah, so that is it.
Yeah.
So
that is the cast.
sadly, we say goodbye to two things tonight. We say goodbye to Daniel Craig as a Bond, and we say goodbye to the Nerd Holes Bondcast. Gone
Cast.
forever, never to return.
So, if you enjoyed our nonsensical talking of James Bond and even Uncharted and other things that you've perhaps seen up to this point, Spider-Man, Hawkeye, put a little comment down below and give us something else to watch. I don't know.
Yeah,
just give us some ideas.
If there's any movie series that anybody wants us to watch and talk about,
we'll look them over, and
you
know, if we feel like we can rewatch them and get something out of them, we'll try to do it. And if you know, we'll do the best we can.
Yeah, and look forward to a maybe a weekly breakdown of Obi-Wan.
Maybe.
Yeah. Or every like 2 or 3 episodes, maybe. We haven't committed to anything yet.
Yeah, nothing's in writing. No contracts have been signed. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, I would. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, I would like to do that. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. So
crazy. That's only like months away.
It's not. It's literally like a week away.
No, not Obi-Wan.
Oh, it's May. Yeah, May.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we're in.
Oh, you're close.
We're in an M month. It's got.
I think what you're thinking of M month. This month, Moon Knight.
It is this month.
It is this month.
It is this month. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we might be talking about that too. We'll see how.
Yeah, that'll probably be at the end of the series. I don't know how much we could talk episode to episode about it.
No. I mean, people do.
Oh, sure. But I don't know enough about Moon Knight to carry on 35 minutes.
And to be like, oh, did you see that? That was from issue 650.
Cool.
I have no idea. It's like those guys that do daily Minecraft videos. I'm like, well, in the patch notes today, they fixed the chickens.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so interesting.
That's the thing. We get on there. We would watch one episode of Moon Knight. You'd come on, we talk about this thing. We don't understand this. We don't understand this. And then we would just talk about him playing Apocalypse in the X-Men movies and what's his name? Poe from the Star Wars movies. And it would have nothing to do with Moon Knight.
Also, to go along with that, Poe Dameron.
Dameron, that was
Florida. So Disney World in Florida, they just opened the Star Cruiser thing. That's like their big.
Oh yeah.
It's like their cruise ship on Earth, but you're not on Earth. You're on a cruise.
Yeah.
You're on like a Starliner, right?
Yeah.
So they just opened that to like the public, and they don't have any like reviews from the public, nothing. And who do they have? They have Poe Dameron, and he's walking around and he's like, "This is great. I love it very much. I love the fact that Disney takes the opportunity to sell you the experience." It's like, dude, I don't care what you think about it. You work for Disney. What are you going to say about it?
Is it really Oscar Isaac walking around doing it?
Yeah. It's like him and one of the Imagineers are walking through it. And he's like, this is like what I would film. This is like a set I would film on.
Oh,
it's amazing. It's like, dude, you're getting paid. You're getting paid to be there. You're getting paid by Disney.
Because I've only seen the people do it. I've seen the people that they allow go in do stuff.
It's like their opening trailer for the attraction. Like, who else could you have? A Star Wars guy.
Harrison Ford.
It's Chewbacca. Oh, what a great review. Please take my money. What is it? It's 2 nights. It's 2 nights in a hotel room for what is it? 20 grand? Yeah. Sign me up.
Perfect. It's the size of a child's room. No problem.
Every weekend this year.
Every single weekend. Oh God.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny.
I look at parts of it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I look at other parts of it and I'm like, no.
It's a cool concept, but
if it was a thing you could just walk through and look at and like, I don't know, I don't know. If it was like a convention-esque thing where it was like you could walk around and look at stuff, perfect.
Well, that's what that is. Yeah. That's what Hollywood, that's what Batu in Hollywood Studios is just walking
I'm
around.
too introverted for those people to come up to me and talk to me and say all this stuff, and I'm going to be like, "That's neat." I don't care that much.
Well, it's like a whole. It's like a whole
No,
experience.
I know.
You go under the start, the cockpit, and you're shooting TIE fighters. And
Yeah, I
you get
saw the
boarded and
lightsaber training. I saw that, which was kind of neat. Yeah.
And then Kylo Ren fights Rey and the balcony.
No.
Like, woo, woo. I don't care, but the concept is cool. It's
Oh, absolutely. Oh, the concept is beautiful for a Star Wars fan. It's amazing.
And the rooms are cool. They have like the little, like if you have kids, that like the built-in bunk beds in the
wall. And the thing too, I saw the video. The guy was like, "Oh, what if you don't want this? You push this, like the blast windows go up, and
it's pretty cool.
It hides all the computer stuff while
and
space.
Just the fact that like it looks like you're in a cabin room, like on a cruise ship, and then the LCD TV, and it's like stars, and it makes you really feel like you're on a ship.
Yeah, and then people actually took the time to like try to write in that this Star Cruiser is like part of the Star Wars universe and try to make it like a real thing rather than just like whatever.
It's basically like what the ride Star Tours was meant to be, but now it's like an actual thing. The Star Tours was always kind of like set up where it was like you get on this like taxi and you tour the galaxy.
Right.
Now it's like now you're on a cruise ship in space.
Hey,
cool. It's cool. I'm never gonna do it because it's a ton.
Yeah, I mean, not anytime soon. It's a few grand to just have a couple nights there.
And I don't want to stay on board with a bunch of other Star Wars nerds either, like me. And especially like not liking the new movies.
Oh, that's the biggest.
It's just like I don't care about this stuff.
No, I tell you what, I'd start saving up my money if it was the old 1977 stuff, though. I would experience it. I would deal with it.
You know what I want to do? I just want to go to a set and have it be Tatooine and be in.
Oh, like Mos Eisley and stuff.
The bar. Just put me in the bar.
Even Jabba's palace, right? Yeah.
Because they have like Batu has that in Hollywood, and there's like a bar and there's kind of this stuff, but it's like you got to be on the list to get in, and it's booked all day, and you can't there's so many people that you just can't do it. So you need to have like Jabba's like 6 Jabba's palaces. You need to have like 7 bars, like Mos Eisley bars that you can just go to.
Yeah,
it's just such a small area, and there's so many people, and everyone's loves Star Wars. It's just too much. Too much. So that's why people like me and the people on the Facebook group that I'm a part of, they make their house all Star Wars because now they're just like, I live here.
I live in this. I live with this. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Dude, there are guys that like their office is like, you open the door to their office and you feel like you're on the Millennium Falcon, or you feel like in a ship. Like, oh, this while we're here, this is the engine. This is all LEDs lit up. It's all things that are crazy. Like flowing through. Yeah, it's crazy. Cool.
Wish you could you go and hire those people and have them come and do your room. Right? Yeah, that'd be fun.
They're just dudes. I mean, they just figure it out. They're just such fans that they just figure it out.
I know.
It's cool. Well, yeah. So anyway, that's Bond.
And
Boned.
Bond. Caleb and Will Bond.
Bond boys.
The Bond boys.
All right. Well, that was fun. I'm glad we did that. I can't believe it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I mean, it definitely made this movie have more impact. Like, if I just went and watched it, I would have been like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would never remembered Madeline. I wouldn't remember any of that stuff.
Who's Vesper?
Yeah. Oh, I kind of remember. Yeah, right. Yeah. No.
Where's
it was nice to watch him close.
Where's M? Didn't M show back up?
She must be hiding still.
Yeah, she's in hiding. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, that concludes our Bond series.
That concludes
until Idris Elba takes over. See you guys next time.